Hi, and welcome to another episode of the ARC podcast with Jen and Lindsey. Jen, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Lindsay. This is 2024, Jen.
I know. Can you believe it?
Like a totally rebooted version of myself, ready to go.
Awesome. That is great. Our
Take
kids had
on
a
the
2-hour
world.
delay today, so not rebooted in any way. It was just chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that Jack didn't go to school yesterday. And I had to drive him this morning in the rain and take about an hour in the lobby of the school building. So, yeah, it's been a little tough. I mean, I know this is going to be the case when we go back after a long break, but I still haven't figured out like a better way to do it other than just like ride the wave and then take a deep breath and try again the next day, you know?
That's our motto. We take 3 deep breaths and we reassess.
Yeah.
That's all you can
Three
really
deep
do.
breaths and reassess.
Yep. It's our
I like
little jingle. Vivi did it the other day when Whit made her mad. She goes,
yeah.
what are we going to do about it, mommy? And I was like, 3 deep breaths and reassess.
Well, I'm excited. 2024, usually I don't make I make like little resolutions, like personal ones, but I have some like work resolutions this year that I really am excited about. I'm full time now, so I
Woo,
actually
it's
have,
about time.
yeah, I have time in my schedule to actually like get everything I want to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a grant from DODD, which I'm excited about. It's an innovative inclusive grant where we're doing a summer camp pilot program where we're going to send kids to Camp Kern over the summer of 2024 and 2025. And these are children who have the highest support needs. So basically, the families who've been left out of summer camp for quite some time now, who actually weren't left out um, prior to like maybe 5 years before COVID or so. Like I think we were all the camps were accepting these kids. And then once staffing got too hard and like, I don't know, things changed at these summer camps in terms of like thinking about how they can best serve the population. They stopped. They said, if you need a one-on-one support, we can't serve you. And these families now for several years have gone without summer camp, which I feel is like such a loss because, the consistency and routine of school is so important for our kids. And then in the summer, that all just like falls apart. And summer camp gives them that consistency and support. And it also gives them like, it's so fun. It's not just like this place where parents are like, sorry, I have to drop you off at daycare. It's like, oh, guess where I'm dropping you off today? Like, you're going to have a blast. You're going to go canoeing and you're going to climb
Yeah.
a mountain and you're going to like archery and horseback riding and swimming. And it's a joyful experience for every kid. I think every kid should
Oh,
get a
yeah, 100%. I'm so excited to see what you do with this grant. It's going to be amazing.
I'm excited. I mean, we're trying to look for someone right now, actually, to be the one-on-one over the summer. So I'm putting it out there. It's a very well-paid position. You would get paid $800 a week to stay at
Nice.
Camp Kern and be a one-on-one for a child with a developmental disability. So, and every week it'll be a different kiddo. So it's a really good experience for if you're like an OT school or speech or PT or special education. Spread the word about it to, especially if you're a sibling of
Yes.
someone with a developmental disability. This would be a really good opportunity because you're going to learn a ton and you're going to have a lot of fun and you're going to get a lot of exercise and you're going to be at summer camp. And who doesn't want to go back to summer camp? You know?
I wish I could.
Me too.
And be a camper, not run the camp.
Exactly. No, I don't want to be there to run the camp at all. I want to be a camper and I want to be like, I don't know, doing the campfire stuff. I'm just, all of it is just like such a check mark on childhood. Like it has to be done. Everybody should get the opportunity to go. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, there's a lot of things. We just had some policy calls to kind of look at what this year is going to bring. Because let's just say last year brought a whole lot of nothing, right, Lindsay?
Right. There was an article last or yesterday that came out saying that it was the least productive year since 1955.
We
Insane.
passed 16 bills up at the Ohio Statehouse last year, which is dreadful, to be honest. And this year is a big election year. So let's
Mhm.
just say that there's not going to be a whole lot done, especially on the federal side.
Right. We just sat in a meeting where they told us that it was our dreams will not come true in 2024 was basically what we were told.
Yeah. Yeah, but we still feel like we should update on what's going on at the State House here in Ohio and on the federal level, just in case something happens and you kind of have that on your radar. And then
Hmm.
if you're interested in any of these things, we'd really love your advocacy because we're going to be scheduling some meetings with
Yep.
representatives here at the State House and at the federal level. So please call the ARC of Ohio. Me and Lindsay would love to take you to meet your state or federal representative.
Yeah.
But let's get into it, Lindsay. You want to talk about federal or state first?
Do state first.
Okay. So on the state side, the one big bill that I think might have some good headway here because it got some hearings and looks like lots of good bipartisan support is called Madeline's Law.
Hmm.
So this law would help, um, it would make insurance companies pay for hearing aids for children ages 0 to 21. So, seems like an obvious thing that hearing aids are a necessity, a healthcare necessity, and something that insurance should cover.
Hmm.
But they do not cover any hearing aids for children or adults. Adults kind of make sense because it would be a really high amount, it would be kind of an increase in insurance costs for insurance companies, even though I still think it should be covered, personally. But
Oh, definitely.
for kids, it's not a huge increase. There's not a big percentage of children who need this.
Hmm.
But when they do get it, the impact on children and their learning is huge.
Oh
So
yeah, I've read some of the research on it. Like it's night and day. As soon as the earliest you can get a child a hearing aid, the better off that they will be. So hopefully we can get that passed
yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah, that's HB 152,
hmm.
Madeline's Law. So if you're interested in that your child has hearing aids, and you've been paying out of pocket for that, call us because we would love to get you set up. There's a really great group, Let Ohio Hear,
Hmm.
on Facebook, social media. They're doing a great job. So they really don't really need any of our help because these ladies are doing a fantastic job advocating. But we'd love to be in support of it. The other one is 14C, subminimum wage. So this bill has not been introduced yet, but basically we are just waiting in the next couple weeks. We're hoping Representative Gerals is the lead sponsor of the bill, and this would be a bill that would stop 14C certificates that allow companies to pay sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities. This would stop those certificates. It would freeze those. So no more certificates would be given out after 90 days after the bill is uh, becomes law. And then there's a time period of 5 years that we're thinking of that's in the bill that has not been introduced yet, where there will be time for the companies that do pay minimum wage, sub-minimum wage, to then come up with a plan on how they're going to transfer, start. Honestly, all we really want them to do is just start paying sub-minimum wage or minimum wage. That would be the easiest way to change your business model. Just pay minimum wage.
Hmm.
But then there's other things, that they could plan to do. So um, we have been working hard on a task force with APSI and I think 91 other organizations around
Yeah, it's
Ohio.
been insane. Like it's been crazy.
Not necessarily organizations, 91, but people and organizations who have signed on to a letter um, asking that this bill be introduced. So
Mhm.
we are looking at that. And that on the same side, I mean, at the federal level, that's been there's been doing a lot of interested party meetings on this too, and we're hopeful that they'll introduce a bill there as well. But we are in support here at the Arc of Ohio and doing something. The timeline, just 5 years, fine. Like let's just get it. My kids are 13 and 11. I would love 5 years. So when
Yeah.
Jack's 18, then that's
Hmm.
not an option. I just don't want it on the table for him. But I
Hmm.
get that there's a lot of consternation amongst families who, if your child's already in this program, that you're like, wait, whoa, you know. So, let's take the time, figure this out. We've got some really great organizations that work in vocational rehab and day programming and other things that can fill the gaps where we need to. So, those are the big ones. See, and like I said, there's nothing going on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to have more to talk about, but we're just really excited that the budget went so well this
Mhm.
year, and that direct support professionals now are being paid a livable wage or, a better wage than they were. And so we're hoping to see some really great things from that here this year in 2024 and 2025. But I'll keep a lookout on the state level and see if there's anything else I want you to watch out for. The only other little thing I wanted to update was I was on a meeting yesterday with Dr. Ayers, who leads our USED here at Cincinnati Children's, and she is on a committee, a program called National Center for Disability Equity and Intersectionality. And so I thought it was a really cool way to kind of keep up with what's going on,
Yeah.
and anything disability, equity, intersectionality. Go to that's their website. It's called thinkequitable.com, and check out their Twitter, Facebook, hashtag Think Equitable. Um, really good stuff on just kind of like keeping up with some blogs that are coming out from them. And I just thought the work was something that I feel like we can all learn a ton about accessibility, what's
Hmm.
going on, with and like what's going on with any Supreme Court cases coming up, any intersectionality of like mental health and
Hmm.
disability information, um, lots of like criminal justice reform info. I just thought it was a good thing. So I thought this is a good one to put on our podcast to kind of get people to check out. It's an easy one to like just check it on Twitter, follow it.
Yep.
So
And it'll be in the description
cool.
so you
Yeah.
guys can go to it and check it out because it is very, very helpful.
All right. Federal.
Federal, there really isn't anything happening federally other than start watching your debates and figuring out who you would want to vote for here in the primaries coming up soon. I mean, I forget when Super Tuesday is. I'm very unprepared. We were supposed to have somebody on and they canceled last minute, which is totally fine. But yeah, so Super Tuesday it will be here before you know it. And we'll really be diving into the presidential stuff. Think about what you as a human being in person would want personally and try and find the person that best matches that is my greatest advice. We are working on at the ARC the SSI bill because it is Sherrod Brown's bill. So it will help people with disabilities can only have $2,000 in their account at any given time while using SSI, which is very much an unlivable wage. The best way I can describe it, and is how I say it in every meeting that I've ever been in, imagine landing your dream job in New York City and you're getting paid an amazing amount of money, but you never get a raise and price for living, cost of living goes up, Cost for groceries has gone up. I read an article last week that said that since 2021, the cost of living in groceries has gone up $11,000 a family on average, which is insane.
I feel like I spend $11,000 a week at Kroger.
Oh yeah. Yeah, same here. So, but imagine being in that state and it hasn't been fixed or updated since Reagan, just to put it another perspective.
Trying to get it from 2,000 to 10,000.
2,000 to 10,000. And then there's also people with disabilities, if they get married, they get docked. So right now, a married couple with disabilities only can have $3,000 in the bank. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, so you're actually punished. It's like a marriage penalty because if you're single, you get the 2,000 each, which would be 4,000. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then but if you get married, you only get 3,000. So you actually get, it's actually a disincentive to get married, which is like in our country, like what? What are we doing?
Yeah, it makes no sense to anything. So if we can get this SSI bill and marriage penalty handled, it would be $10,000 if you are single that you can have in your bank account at any given time, and $20,000 if you're married, which makes
sense.
so much more sense than $3,000. Like I mean, we aren't rich by any means, but just like thinking about trying to keep that amount in our bank account right now.
Well, we're just keeping people in poverty.
Yeah,
is not what either party wants. It's not what any, any governor wants. So like it makes perfect sense. We just, and that's something where, in the Senate, it looks like we could work on this.
Oh, definitely.
SSI bill. And it's really like, it's getting bipartisan support, which is good. So, if you want to reach out to your senator, do so, because it's a really important, they just need to hear from you. Like, especially Sherrod Brown, I would send him a message and say, like, this is important to us. Please keep working on it. Thank you for introducing it.
I think too that the ARC National Office, and I will put it in the description if they have it. They have the ARC National Office does an amazing job of all you do is type in like what state you live in. They will give you both of your senators, and you simply hit send. I think you type in your name, and then you hit send, and it automatically sends it. So you'll be able to like automatically send something to Sherrod Brown.
Perfect. Yeah. And we just don't want that marriage penalty or asset.
No,
penalty.
it's
there should be no penalty. Yeah.
There should be no penalty for getting married. Like,
agreed. Anything else? I feel like
no, there really isn't anything. Like January is the longest, saddest month. And you think that like we would be in getting the ground running, and we are in other areas. But when it comes to policy, everybody's just like slowly getting back into it.
This is a good time to, like we just said, email, make a phone call to your state or federal lawmaker, because relationships matter, and you can just, keep them updated. I'm seeing, and they have time because clearly they're not doing any like legislating. So they have time to like meet with you and read your emails and see what actual families in their districts care about. So if you're hitting a wall on something, send them a message, because that's all they're really doing is like checking their email. Good. I like it. So what else?
Well, do you want to talk about what we have planned for the rest of the month and into February?
Yeah. So Lindsey and I really want our podcast to get to you guys, get out there, and consistently put one out, because we really like to have people on, but a lot of times, stuff comes up. And so we've been really making an effort to like get everybody on our calendar. And even if someone can't show up, like we're banking some of these podcasts to put them out to you. So we're excited. So for the next few weeks, we're going to have Paul Doherty on the program. Paul is a Cincinnati beat writer here, who wrote like sports. He was a sports journalist, sorry, at the Cincinnati Enquirer for many years. Everyone knows his name here in Cincinnati. And he will be joining us to talk about his daughter Jillian and his book, Uncomplicated Life.
Which is so
But
good. I've been
yeah,
reading it.
yeah, it's really good. It was I mean, I read it a couple years ago. It was a really good book, but I was like, we need to have him back on, kind of get an update on Jillian and see how everything's going. Married life is treating her and work and anything else she's been up to, because we'd like to hear from her and her dad. So we're going to have Jeremy Morris from the SIL Center for Independent Living, which I'm excited about. I would love to hear from him and have him give us an update on what they're doing. Um, Going to have People First on. So our very own Craig Walker and Michael
Yeah.
Richardson come on here, talk about what's
Mhm.
going on at People First, what they're doing advocacy wise, and how you can get involved.
And
Um,
Emma and Olivia from Assistive Tech to talk to you guys about how you can get your hands on Assistive Tech, what they do for us at the ARC, and they're an amazing team.
Yeah, assistive technology is so very, very important. So
It
we were
is.
like, you know what, this is another communication and behavior and things like that. We want to do a lot of shows on those things and have a lot of experts and people who can come on to actually say, like, we have the resources here that can actually help you. This is how you sign up. This is how you get to us. Let's make your life as easy as possible. And
Mhm.
that's who we are here at the ARC. We want to make sure that we're getting you what you need, helping you
Yep.
advocate so that you're not just constantly banging your head against the wall like, this is
I like saying
impossible.
that we're the bridge that brings families what they need.
I'm excited. And I also have someone from DODD who does trauma-informed care, does some presentations on that. And I'm really excited to have him on because I think for our autism community,
Mhm.
trauma-informed care is really, really important. I think
Yes,
a
it's
lot
so important.
of our kids have experienced trauma. And there's just, this is like first level stuff that I feel like if you're not getting that kind of good care, then everything else is like secondary. You can't use your speech device if you're dealing with trauma, you know? And so, really excited to talk to him. Also, really excited to have Kelly Mahler, who's an OT, and I think everybody knows her name here in Ohio and beyond, to talk about interoception with us, which
Mm-hmm.
personally for me has been groundbreaking. I mean, the first time I
Yeah.
learned about it at OcaliCon, I was like, what? What is this? I thought I knew
Mhm.
everything about sensory and sensory integration.
Right.
Um, and then she just blew my mind. And she's been doing amazing work. She
Mm-hmm.
has her own business, she does presentations, she has her own like product that you can use. So like I really want to hear from her and hear and give that to parents so they can learn more about interoception, because I feel like when I talk about it and I'm trying to give it to people, I'm like, I wish I had a podcast where I could just hand it to you and you could listen, or
Yeah.
just I send them to her webpage all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
she's
Which is
great.
what
So
we had in mind when we were trying to decide what this year of podcast was going to look like.
yes,
Was we want to be able, on the topics that we talk about most, be able to say, hey, we have a podcast on it here. Listen.
exactly. Lindsay and I talk a lot to people, and then sometimes I can hear myself tell people
Mhm.
like the same thing over and over, and I'm like, I do
Yeah.
need to bank some of this talk that I'm doing and get it out there, even though,
I've
no
like
one.
started making it into handouts and I'm like, oh, I have a handout for that here.
Yes, yes. So, but let us know. So those are some of the things we have coming up. We have some others too.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited, and let us know what you want to hear. Email me or Lindsay. My
Yeah.
email is Jen dot powersalgae at thearchofohio.org.
Yep.
And
And I'm
Lindsay,
Lindsay.althouse at the archofohio.org.
yeah.
It's an ALT, not spelled like outhouse.
Do you get a lot of, is it outhouse? Outhouse. I like it.
Yeah, somebody called me outhouse and I was like, it's ALT, like alt, not out.
That's funny.
I've actually gotten emails from people for the ARC who have like typed in Lindsay.althouse at the archofOhio.org and then put Lindsay Outhouse, OUTH. U-S-E. So I'm assuming it's just autocorrect because I'm like,
Maybe that's what it is.
they did the first step. They got the email right. And so it's normally just like marketing, like Staples or things like that. It's never been like a personal, like parent or
if it's personal, they might be saying something. I don't know. Maybe you made somebody mad.
maybe, but no, it's usually just like it's those like professional ones that spam ones that you get that's like, hey, here's a $25 gift card. And I'm like, you can't even spell my name right. So no.
Don't think so. All right, guys. Well, it was good to talk to you again, Lindsey. If you guys want any,
see you.
Yes, you too. You have such cute hair. I'm just like really inspired to chop this all off now.
I feel like it aged me like 20 years. I'm not gonna lie, but I needed it to be short. Like,
no, it's so cute and professional, and like I feel like it's just you like really look like you're put together. It's really nice.
Thanks. I'm in a hoodie, so that was the goal, was to always look put together. Even
FYI, Lindsey and I didn't know that these podcasts were put on YouTube for quite some.
Yes. So my apologies if you are offended in any way, shape, or form by the fact that I itch my nose or scratch my face. Like, it's just a thing when you're recording. All of a sudden, everything itches. So
Right. And I just didn't know these were all on. I mean, I knew our Temple Grandin was on YouTube. I tried to look my best for that one.
Yeah, like I looked totally put together for Temple Grandin. And then I'm pretty sure that we recorded one this summer and I was in my jammers laying in Vivi's bed because it was like a last minute. We had to get the podcast out because it was new news. I feel very much after saying that like a Kelsey, like new news, new news. They say that on every one of their podcasts. But anyway, it was new news and it was important. And I am so sorry if I flashed you in my pink jammers, guys. It was real life that day.
I feel like everyone enjoyed it. It's fine. We just had no idea we were on YouTube as well. So check us out on YouTube. We'll try
in a meeting. I was in a meeting with our new boss and he was like, did you know that they were on? And my eyes got wide. I was like, I had no idea. And he's like, yeah. So
yeah, I was like,
one where you yawned, I scratched my nose. It's real life. It's who we are. And we're just
like I said, I'm just trying to
ride.
get Jack to school in the morning. And I'm trying to just survive this week. So it's like kind of a miracle that I'm on here and that my hair's not wet and that I'm like fully.
You look pretty put together too. Like,
I don't have any makeup on or anything, but you guys.
You can never tell though. You're like naturally pretty. So like when I don't have makeup on, it is clear. Like you're just like, is she
I could just listen to these compliments all day, guys.
Is she dying? Is she like that's so.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye.